This one was written though last year, or actually two Black History Months ago, for an event down in Las Cruces. And I only get to read it this time of year, so I figured I'd throw it in the mix. And it's a love poem, because a lot of people like, you know, and especially people that follow the slam poetry world always assume that because it's ethnic poetry, if it's brown poetry or black poetry or red poetry or gay poetry, it's got to be angry. And it doesn't always have to be angry. Though the passion is often what fuels the performance, the writing can be very beautiful and it can be very lovely and subtle. So I decided to write a love letter to my heritage, because it's also often, not anymore, but in the past it was often assumed that most Black people, because of our wretched existence on this earth, I think that was actually a quote, would prefer to not be who we are and not be Black. And I said I wouldn't trade it for the world. So I write a love letter to that. It's called Yours Truly for Black History Month. It wasn't just the landscape. Beautiful backdrops don't make movie script love affair endings. Tragedy gene pulls tears into heart-shaped puddles that leave a trail of baptisms and revivals. I got you, babe, and we got you, and most importantly, God's got you gospels. And we follow those notes, swinging low, to remind us of how we met, where we met, why we met. This love affair, not made for TV, too fantastic for history books and other flash fiction. Those notes clinging to the staff, holding it like a trembling tenor, a sad note ready to jump from a clef, a G at the end of his line, a note suspended on a musical scale we've learned to climb together, hanging on each other's last words. Glory. But you keep getting so caught up in where we're going. And I think heaven is where we came from. So that this thing we've made here together has been a paradise. Built out of lemons and chitlins, whips and spit, blood, sweat, and years of being all cried out over celebrity cruises. I bet weren't voluntary cruise shifts, but there's plenty of booty for the pirates when the cargo's cash money, but the wages of swimming was death too, so now we're famously fabled for not being able to do it. Escape, or for that matter, revolution. But it's the way the winds of change chisel your face in adversity that makes me admire your sick sense of humor. Your heart on a string. Skin as ripe as Denmark Vessies. Laughing and lynching into the afterlife like, I'd rather hang out up here with you looking up to me than bow at your feet with you looking down. Appalled by your Apolloing. How you shine as a god of poetry, music, and comedy. When you said, how come you don't find a lot of Black botanists? Because we're hung up on the idea that less trees mean less problems. Where are my dogs at? I like how you genuinely take interest with your peoples and their actions. Michael Vick was tragic, a psychological attraction for peoples whose ancestors were rabbits for rabbit pits. Civil rights activists as target practice, and I like how you didn't run back to Africa when the dogs attacked you, because let's keep it real. You were born with the right to share this earth. You weren't going to be spooked out of town after all them years your parents worked. It ain't been a vacation. And your open eyes are a postcard of a sunset in Cape Town. I read legacies of sightseeing and memories of a bright future. Your closed eyes are a sunrise, peaceful when waking up to you. Accomplished in death, better than a movie, this real-life love affair. And though a few hours of lust might satisfy a pop appetite while it's fad to depict you, we've been accustomed to ups and downs so long that even when neo-soul poetry ain't cool, I'm still gonna commit to you. I'm old school, all power to you, people. Even when they call you, you people. Tragedy gene pulls tears into heart-shaped puddles. Real hearts, the ones about the size of a fist, that are shaped like a mallet, that leave a trail of activism and revolution. I got your back, Black. And we got rap, and that's the new Negro habitual, spiritual obituary. When I met you, we used to sing our way up from this hell to the heaven we believed in. Offered some profits, copped our own property, project by project, ran away from the many mansions in the house of our father. And since the block is now thug heaven to a lot of us, we sing in unison, beautiful, like a choir. Sing like hell, like the hell that's all around us, like the hell we're going through. But if you're going through it, it simply proves it's not inside of you. But now it's heavenly how we sing like hell at the top of our lungs. That ain't where you're from. You and I were angels, going back to the same place we left, and I love you because we grew up together. Black as your skin I'm addicted to, couldn't give it up if I wanted. Proud as a pop after the winning shot, and my daughter was the one that scored it. Everything that comes out of your mouth is cool. Spit poetry and let me clear my throat and cough classics. Write water, flow faucet, and you know you sing like a caged parrot. So jazzy, high fashion, even when the media teaches you to call yourself ashy. Broker than a beat, but rich enough in culture to turn old records on their head like a break dancer. Classy. I wanted to ask you if it's okay if I love myself. Like I'm a nation of millions. Like I'm pregnant with you and love everything that got us from first date to here. Like the best way I can honor you is by treating myself precious. Like my future is a bunch of lucky everydays being with you. Love myself like that's being you. Past, present, and future. I love being black. Yours truly. Yay! So I guess I'll slam one and get out of here. What? I should really think about this kind of stuff before I come home. I just collected all the poetry I wanted to read, and I didn't think about exactly what I should do for memory, so I'll dial one up. Huh?
Seamless.
Seamless. Okay, we could do seamless. I got a request from Buddy Mark. Seamless is actually written for women everywhere, but it was modeled after my son's mother, and it's definitely a male feminist poem. Just to be supporting our ladies in March is Women's History Month, so we'll call it a preview of March. If I can get it right, then I'll save for the first line, there's an action that goes with it, but I know we have. Her middle finger became the flagpole upon which she waved a fond good riddance to her domestication. Tired of cat and cattle, pussy and poultry, now panther of bull. Predator of promise, she hunts, I gather. She gets hands dirty, knee padless kneeling her way up to a heaven past womanless pulpits. Mount something besides me. Past the apex of modernity, she posts up on the other side. I wash and clean this manure made of misguided manhood and masticate motherhood for a while, alone. Then back to daily chores, folding clothes, while she unfolds her womb like a quilt as I admire her inner patchwork. She has sutured her identity together in a world that would punch bruises stitch by stitch, building boys out of bandages and spit, stroking our egos lick by lick by lick. And it is when she unfolds herself that I'm made small. By the highway of experiences, she unravels, then blankets me in. The placenta red carpet she rolls out when she pretends she's not bigger than me. When she pretends God has given her her greatest trick. Day after, day 6, I've taken up sewing to pay homage to your needlework, threading heroines out of thin air, reweaving history on bedspreads, reclaiming that strange bedfellow space, reapplying black eyeliners, demasculinize this unsightly sight of incarceration, burnt steaks, and rape. Recover grace with the beauty of her unfolded, her own comforter, rebuilding herself block by block, putting together our world person by person.